Elon Musk, the world's richest person, CEO of SpaceX and chief executive of the electric car company Tesla, just voiced that he will pay more than $11 billion in taxes this year, which could be a record amount of annual tax paid by a single person. Earlier this year, Musk was accused of paying zero federal taxes in 2018, despite sitting on an estimated $243 billion or 185 billion pounds. Said he would pay the unusual high tax bill this year after the sale of millions of Tesla shares. It comes after Senator Elizabeth Warren described Elon Musk as the world's richest freeloader. Hello and welcome to Elon Musk Tube. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell to get updated with technology trends. We bring you the video related to Elon Musk's tax-paying scheme, so stick till the end. About $14 billion worth of Tesla shares have been sold by Musk since early November, when he asked his Twitter followers whether he should sell 10% of his holdings. Almost 60% of his 67 million followers voted that he should sell the shares. Taxes on the sales are estimated to come in at between $11 billion and $12 billion. As he faces a massive tax bill on shares options that were awarded to him in 2012 and set to expire in August 2022, the controversial entrepreneur would probably have had to begin selling down his 23% stake in Tesla regardless of the outcome of the vote. In order to exercise the options, he is required to pay tax on the gain. Tesla shares have risen by more than 20,000% in the last 10 years. Musk's tax payment have been a political lightning rod in the US, as rather than collect a salary or bonuses, which are taxed, the billionaire's wealth comes from Tesla bonus share awards and the rise in the company's shares price. A ProPublica investigation earlier this year found that Musk paid a true tax rate of 3.27% between 2014 and 2018, and no federal taxes at all in 2018. Warren, a progressive Democrat senator who has long campaigned for tax reforms with the purpose to ensure the super rich pay more tax, questioned Time magazine's decision to name Musk its Person of the Year. Let's change the rigged tax code so that the Person of the Year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else, she tweeted. Musk answered, "If you open your eyes for 2 seconds, you would realize I will pay more taxes than any American in history this year." The shares of Tesla have dropped by about a quarter since Musk's tweet about selling his shares. They fell a further 3% recently. The company's market value has dipped to just over $900 billion, down from the trillion-dollar valuation it hit in October. At the investment bank, analyst Guggenheim Partners alerted investors that electric vehicle production might fall short of forecasts, and said they feared that Tesla's share price could be hit as more competitors entered the electric and autonomous vehicle or AV market at cheaper prices. "We believe EV adoption may fall short of industry forecasts, particularly in the US due to a less onerous regulatory backdrop and limited product launches in key market segments," the Guggenheim analyst Ali Faghri said. "We also believe Tesla's scarcity value from a stock perspective is waning, with significantly more EV and AV-focused companies going public over the last 12 to 18 months, giving investors more options at lower valuation to get exposure to secular growth in EVs and AVs." US President Joe Biden is determined to increase taxes on the ultra-rich and well-heeled, although legislative plans have so far stalled in Congress. Some senators, including Ms. Warren, have advocated the idea of taxing not only the income of Americans' richest citizens, but also the increasing value of the assets they hold, like shares. Taxable salary is not taken by many of the Americans' wealthiest citizens directly. Instead, they hold their wealth in shares and other investments, then take out loans using those assets as collateral. Professor of Columbia University and tax expert Robert Willens said that was likely to be a fair comment from Mr. Musk, who had made himself liable for mind-boggling amounts of taxable income in 2020 through exercising stock options that would otherwise have expired or run out and been useless. Stock options are agreements that the holder can purchase a stock at a set price in the future. The present value of Tesla shares is incredibly higher than when Mr. Musk was guaranteed the original stock options, so the value he gains by exercising those options would be considerable and would count as taxable income, added Mr. Willens. Mr. Musk probably felt it would be prudent to generate as much taxable income in 2021 as possible, on the theory that income in 2022 might be taxed at a higher rate, he explained. If some of Congress's more radical measures were enacted, that would have had a big impact on Mr. Musk's tax liabilities, Mr. Willens added. The bulk of Mr. Musk's tax payment, to be made next year, will go to federal tax authorities, but the state of California, where Tesla and Mr. Musk have been based until recently, will also claim a portion. Tesla announced in a U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, registering that it was moving its corporate headquarters to Texas, a plan Mr. Musk had indicated in media interviews for several months, citing unhappiness with the Californian state government laws and criticizing the high cost of living in Silicon Valley. Texas has some sparing tax rules. It does not collect income tax, in contrast to California, which has the highest income tax rates among U.S. states, according to think tank The Tax Foundation. Mr. Musk has sold around $14 billion of Tesla shares, which Mr. Willens said was likely to be in part in order to generate cash to satisfy his tax liabilities. While the numbers involved in the case of Mr. Musk were exceptional, this was a standard approach for a corporate executive to take to expiring stock options, he added. At the 2021 Code Conference in September, Mr. Musk disclosed that he was deliberate to sell a huge portion of his stock in the fourth quarter. In that same month, he made a pre-arranged trading plan to carry out an orderly sale of shares related to the exercise of stock options, filings show. However, the November 6 Twitter poll did not disclose the existence of that plan. Mr. Musk offered this move, holding discussions about wealthy people hoarding unrealized gains to escape paying taxes. Named by Time magazine as its Person of the Year, Musk is now about two-thirds of the way through trimming 10% of his direct share ownership in Tesla. He will need to get rid of approximately another 6 million shares if the threshold he has referred to includes exercisable options. On December 10th, Mr. Musk joked about leaving his job and becoming an influencer full-time, when he offloaded shares worth $963 million to pay taxes on the exercise of an additional 2.2 million options. In Mr. Musk's tweets, shareholders and regulators have not always appreciated the humor. Tesla shares plunged after a post in jest on April Fool's Day in 2018, claiming that the company had gone bankrupt. Mr. Musk's present move comes as he tackles U.S. Democrats' billionaires tax, which seeks contribution from America's most affluent by taxing their tradable assets. The suggested tax is anticipated to help fund U.S. President Joe Biden's ambitious social policy and climate change legislation. The back and forth comes as top Democrats in the U.S. are eyeing expanding tax on the ultra-rich, including a scheme to tax on the increase in their value of certain stock holdings, a key method billionaires use to grow their wealth without having to pay taxes until they decide to sell the stock off. Mr. Musk has criticized the proposal, which would hammer him and his fellow billionaires, writing on Twitter in October, "Eventually, they run out of other people's money, and then they come for you. Who is the best at capital allocation, government or entrepreneurs, is indeed what it comes down to. The ticksters will conflate capital allocation with consumption." That said, this is it for today's video. So what is your take on this matter? Tell us in the comments. If you want to see our upcoming videos, ring the bell icon, and don't forget to like our video as well. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching.